I've been to New York City a few times now, and I'll probably continue going back throughout my lifetime, but not everything in New York stacks up the same. And many tourists to the Big Apple make the same mistakes time and time again, myself included. So here are some things that are probably worth skipping and others that you should check out next time you're in the city. With that in mind, let's take a look at what is worth a visit and what can surely be skipped. Let's start with the big one that every tourist seems to add to their list: Times Square. Now, I'm not going to act like I've never been to Times Square, because I have. But any tourist that is planning a trip to Manhattan but has never been should really skip this attraction. Other than being an iconic location shown in film and television, there really isn't a reason to visit in person. You know all those ads you skip while streaming online, or that you ignore on the side of a website as you're reading an article? No? Okay, imagine setting up 500 televisions in your living room and all of them are playing commercials non-stop. And at the same time, every person you've ever met in your life is in the room with you. Some are watching the commercials, some are playing their own music, and others are performing either as themselves or as a character they're cosplaying as. This packed and chaotic atmosphere is Times Square. Look, I get it. The real draw for tourists going to Times Square is the spectacle of all the flashing lights and being in a place that you've seen in the movies. If it's spectacle you're after, I've got something much better you can do instead. But first, what's another mistake that tourists often make when they're going to New York? Not researching restaurants ahead of time. There are a ton of food options available in Manhattan and the surrounding boroughs. With so many options, it's easy to make a mistake that I think the vast majority of us make when taking a vacation: not planning our food. Often the thought is that you'll play it by ear and just find something when you're hungry. The problem here is when it's time to get something, many fall into the trap of choosing something familiar. This means a chain restaurant they recognize. What is the point of taking a vacation if you don't also indulge in the local food? I mean, you miss out on the full experience if you're eating McDonald's. What I mean by that is if it's something you can get at home, you're missing out. Why not go for something you can't get back home? Research restaurants you want to try well before you go on your trip. And in case you don't know of any, I do have a couple options we tried in New York that I'll present to you here as a possible consideration in a minute. But first, I got a few more no-nos that we should look at, so stick with me a bit longer. If you enjoyed going with us on our vacations and getting travel tips, please hit that like and subscribe button and remember to ring the bell to be notified of our future videos. Question: what is something that immediately comes to mind when I say New York City? I mean, since we've already covered Times Square, I'm hoping some of you said the Statue of Liberty.
Whoa, he's not about to trash the Statue of Liberty, is he? Because those are fighting words.
Don't worry, this isn't about skipping the Statue of Liberty as much as making a better choice of how you see it. Lady Liberty is located on Liberty Island, which gets an average of 260,000 visitors a month. That's 8,725 guests per day. I think crowded isn't a strong enough word to cover a number like that. It's also touted that the statue is 305 feet 6 inches tall, which is misleading when you realize that this includes the pedestal that is over half of that height. The actual statue is 151 feet 11 inches from its base to the tip of the torch. While not tiny, it does get less impressive viewing it from the island, especially if you climb up the pedestal to the viewing platform. My suggestion is still go see the Statue of Liberty, but let's do it a different way. In addition to the ferry that travels between Manhattan and New Jersey, there's also cruises that tour the harbor that will take you around the statue before returning to the city. This is the better way to see the Statue of Liberty, which is an iconic part of New York City. And if you take the night tour, you can see it all lit up as the focal point of the skyline from the water. Speaking of a focal point in the skyline that I've heard others call underwhelming or even a tourist trap, let's talk about the Empire State Building. This is another spot that tourists know from the movies, but I'm going to disagree with anyone who lists this as overrated because I think they're only judging it based on the viewing platform. You can't talk about the Empire State Building experience only looking at the sky deck where you're looking out of the city. Along the way up to that floor, there is an entire history of the building, which is really cool to see.
See those rivets flying through the air? Nice catch, Blue! Get those plates out of the way, huh? This side, get one! Hey, Trey!
Come on now, you have to admit that's pretty cool. But hey, okay, I get it. If you're only interested in the viewing platform to look at the city, I've got something for you. So are you ready to look at my New York recommendations? Then let's get to it. If you're wanting all the spectacle of New York, then skip Times Square and swing by Broadway. With a ton of shows both on and off Broadway, you've got a lot to choose from, and you're sure to have a fantastic experience. Personally, I suggest Back to the Future the musical. It was freaking awesome, regardless of your level of familiarity with the films. But for someone like me that rates these films as my favorite series of all time, I got a little teary at the end. Like, I'm not kidding, I was fighting back the waterworks. That's right, I'm a man in touch with his feelings, so what? Okay, let's calm down. How about we break some bread? I've got 2 recommendations for you that we tried in New York. While not local to only New York with over 50 locations, Bluestone Lane Coffee still falls into local enough since half of those locations are in the New York area. They have a few great options on their menu, but I must recommend the Avocado Smash. Oh wow, the avocado toast I make at home is a pitiful comparison. But breakfast or brunch options isn't all I've got for you. How about we grab dinner on a rooftop in Hell's Kitchen? Cantina Rooftop has a party atmosphere, so expect loud music with your meal. There's even a dance floor if the music is telling you to move your feet. But if you just want some great food, the taco game at Cantina Rooftop is scoring big points because the chicken tacos and the Baja tacos were out of this world. The only downside for me was the drink options. I heard great things about the margaritas, but I'm not really a margarita fan. I tried the Coco Loco Mojito and a Pina Colada, and I didn't really care for either of them. And these are drinks I typically enjoy. Oh yeah, I believe there was a view of the city that I promised you that's better than the Empire State Building. No, it's not Top of the Rock like some people have suggested is better than Empire State Building, because it's not. Have you ever heard of the City Climb at Hudson Yards? For only $185, City Climb allows you to scale the outside of a skyscraper more than 1,200 feet above the ground and is the highest open-air building ascent in the world. Trained guides lead you up the 45-degree angled staircase, and just about the time your thighs start to burn, you'll discover a view like nothing you've ever seen when you reach the highest outdoor platform in New York City. And the thrill doesn't stop, because you will also have the chance to lean out over the edge. This is a view like you've never experienced, and each ticket even comes with a short video of your climb. You must be over 13 years old to participate, as well as weigh less than 310 pounds and be between 4 foot 11 inches and 6 foot 8 inches tall. So who's coming with me next time? Before I let you go, do you have time for 2 more experiences currently running in New York that you should probably check out before they're gone? First up is Friends, the Experience. I gotta find mine. Where's it at? Okay. And if that wasn't enough, there is also the Harry Potter exhibition currently showing in New York City. Stuff's moving. That is it. Hey. Oh, that's cool. You can't actually see this when you're watching the movie, but you can see the phrase and like Ron Weasley's robes and the Gryffindor insignia versus what Harry Potter's got going on and Hermione. Oh yeah, you get to do Defense Against the Dark Arts. What are you most afraid of? A deep forest, a dark night, a strange sound?
A strange sound. Trace the symbol to cast your spell.
Ridiculous.
10 points to Slytherin. Alright, that's all of them.
And that's what I recommend for anyone planning to become a Manhattan tourist. What do you think I should check out next time I'm there? Let me know in the comments and I'll catch you next time. I've actually got a few options that we tried in New York that I'll present to you here in just a minute, but first I'm gonna forget what I was supposed to say.